Hello, neighbors. How are you? Good evening, good Monday evening. It's right. We're back at it again. It's Monday. Let's have a chat about leadership for Monday, March 30th, 2020. And I'm your host, Dave Guerra. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. All hunkered down, caught up on some movies, did that Lifetime channel thing, right? They're doing those holiday movies, right? Getting you into the Christmas spirit, lifting your spirits. And that's really what they're doing it for, aside from, the commercials and selling stuff and all that other stuff. But it's just kind of trying to bring back a little sense of normalcy. And so kudos to them and kudos to everybody else. Everybody out there on the front lines, keep doing what you're doing, keep hustling, keep grinding, make things happen. We're going to get better. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and the light does get brighter and brighter every day, folks. We're going to get there. It is not all doom and gloom, so be aware of that. And as I like to remind everyone, this show, Let's Have a Chat About Leadership, is a show where I remind you that everyone is either a leader or a future leader, and be ready because here they come. So today I'm talking about sports and leadership and sports during this COVID-19 season, I guess for the lack of a term, season. And what that is, well, I'm looking at all the major sports websites and I'm looking for something and kind of drawing attention. And all of them have one thing in common. They have kind of a running theme. It's a throwback. They're looking back at their accomplishments. They're looking back at what they're doing, what they've done, what it took to get to where they are now as a sport. And we're talking MLB, we're talking NFL, we're talking XFL, we're talking every sport, basketball, baseball, highlight. What's that one with the brush? Curling. I'm being serious. Everybody's doing it and looking back. And sometimes, folks, we have to take a moment and look back because that's how we go forward, is looking back, revisiting old things, not festering, not digging in and reliving the hurt or the pain. No, but it's about realizing that, hey, we've moved on this far. And then we start working to see what's to let go. So as leaders, we have to define what has made our past, the decisions we made then, and what has occurred to us then in the past, but it does not define us. What defined us is the routes that we take going forward. And going forward, it's always something. It's always something. There's always something going on. There's something just on the other side of the camera that you don't know, but it's happening, just like you're in front of the camera and you see everything that's going on. So again, we see just this much of our lives, and sometimes we have to look beyond that. And so in looking beyond that, we also have to look to the past. Why do we look to the past? One, I guarantee you one thing, everybody in the medical profession, medical field, research field, everybody's looking to the past. So that we do not repeat these mistakes. The only one who's not looking to the past is the media. And again, I don't like pointing fingers, but right now the media seems to just dwell on the negativity. They seem to dwell on everything is wrong, nothing is right, no matter what goes on, no matter who's doing it, everything is wrong. And the good side of the news is just fluff piece centering around the negativity. And that's not a good thing. There's other stuff happening. There's got to be other stuff happening in the world. And by looking back, let me get away from them because, again, they're not going to look back. They're only looking forward to ratings and who comes out of this on the back end. But everybody else, businesses, sports organizations, private companies, large, small, medium enterprises, whatever, looking back is where we find our answers for the future. One, don't do it. What did they do? What can we do better now? Things like that. And that kind of positive mindset. Just kicking the negativity aside. Sure, we're going to have the negativity, but we don't let it control us. What we have is a future that we have to now build from scratch. See, prior to all of this, it's like, oh, we're going to enjoy the ride. It's going to be great. We're going to have everything we ever wanted, everything we ever needed. And then, boom, the great equalizer comes along, and guess what happens then? That's it. It's over. It's over. Now we have to rebuild. We have to start again from scratch. We have to figure out what our next step is so that we do not repeat what we've done. We don't repeat where we've been and keep doing that moth to the flame thing. No, So what I'm getting at is let's look at the past. And I'm looking at the MLB.com website, and they're talking about this pitcher, St. Louis area pitcher back in the 19th century, 1890s, I want to say, 1885 to 1890. Pitcher name, what was his name? I just saw it here. And of course, I don't want to say it wrong. Thomas Toad Ramsey. Thomas Toad Ramsey. And while it may be rude to call him by his nickname, which he earned for his portly body, this is on the website. This is on the MLB.com. The title of the article is He Invented a Cocktail and the Knuckleball, an origin story fitting for such a strange pitch. So this guy, he was a pitcher, and he worked it, and he discovered the pitch because of an unfortunate accident. Working as a bricklayer, Ramsey sliced the tendon in his index finger, forcing him to hold his ball by the fingertips. This produced two different curves or drop balls. If you've ever seen a curveball, just the way it rotates in or the way it drops just before it hits the plate, that's awesome. But sure, it wasn't quite a knuckleball, and the 19th century sports writers could not possibly comprehend the glory of what the pitch could become. But it was a kind of knuckler, a proto-knuckleball, if you will, with movements similar to that of the modern-day knuckle curve. It was a devastating pitch, and batters were helpless against it. The Chattanooga Daily Times said he fired his drop ball from his southpaw wing as if he were a wizard, and his arms were the wand. This guy sliced his tendon in his left hand. Now he's got to hold the ball by the knuckles. This guy. So he adapted. He overcame. He saw that he loved baseball. That much is true. He loved baseball. And what did he do? Well, he adapted, overcome, and he developed this pitch that batters were not able to hit. So again, he learned from his past. He adapted. He created something that now made him a star, basically. The drop ball twirl by Tom Ramsey, famous left-hander of the Louisville and St. Louis clubs of the 80s, the 1880s, shot from his southpaw wing as though he were a wizard and his arm was a wand. Though largely forgotten today, Ramsey's curve kept him in the public memory long after he retired on January 6, 1923, more than 80 years since Ramsey first threw his first professional pitch, or its final professional pitch. The Youngstown Vindicator wrote, quote, "The ball would leave the hand and go on a straight line to the plate, then suddenly shoot down." Ramsey has almost perfect control of this curve and threw it with as much ease and confidence as most hurlers possess when they slam through straight ones. So, this guy went on. He pitched 583 and 2/3 innings through 66 complete games, struck out 499 batters. Wow. He basically replicated the performance. That was just in 1886, the first season. He did it again the following season, including striking out 17 batters in a game against the Cleveland Blues. Anybody remember the Cleveland Blues? Who are they now? This pitcher, during a time when a pitcher needed 4 strikes to send a batter packing. Wow. So it's 4. Now it's 3. I guess that's that collective bargaining right there. Anyway, it helped that Ramsey was a major proponent of the K, the pitch, the strikes, and too long before the sabermetric revolutions brought that to a 4. So brought it up front. So obviously he believed in the strikeouts, not necessarily pitching to catch them, or pitching him to give up a hit and possibly catching it. There we go. If I yield up a groover and the fellow at bat gives it a slap and it goes short, who feels it to the first in time? Why is that an out for the baseman and an assist for the shortstop and all right for me in a manner of speaking? But look at you, Ramsey said. If that shortstop had not been playing a slightly different position and the ball had got by him, it would have counted as a hit off of me. And that's funny, as after the ball left my hands, I had no further control over it. So interesting there. It goes against the pitcher, and yeah, it's insight right there. So again, looking at it from the perspective of the pitcher. So the best example of his love for the strikeout, the knuckleball twirling hero, was once offered $100 to pitch a game, but Ramsey instead wanted $5 per strikeout. So all he had to do was strike out 20 people. So naturally, Ramsey aimed to record a strikeout for every out, and even purposefully dropping balls hit back to the mound to help him along the way. He finished with 24, but had to settle for 50 and a week of room and board. So there you go. Not too shabby. So he's always thinking, always doing something. So here we go. Here's the cocktail. It's called the Toad Ramsey cocktail. It's real simple. You probably know it by its newer modern day rendition, but back then things were a little bit different. Drinking was a little harder back then. So just remember that. They drop a pint of whiskey, 16 ounces of whiskey, into a pitcher of beer. And that was called the Toad Ramsey cocktail. But meant that Ramsey's career was short. After pitching his first game in 1885, he was out of the game by 1890, even though he had led the league in strikeouts per 9 innings that final year. So not too shabby. So next time you watch a knuckleball float through the air and completely befuddle a batter, spare a thought for the rudely forgotten Toad Ramsey. Again, sliced up his tendon, developed a new pitch, changed baseball forever, and then also did a cocktail. But again, looking at the past, what can we learn from this? What can we do with it? What can we do? We can go make a new cocktail. Hey, we're home. Why not? Why not? Why not develop some new cocktail? So pretty much it's already happening out there. What's it? The Corotini or something like that. I think it's the Quarantine. The Quarantini. Yeah, I already saw that. That was out earlier. But what I'm getting at is that, well, what's that one about? Necessity is the mother of invention. Thinking outside the box is going to land you outside the box. And obviously, doing what you love to do is what's going to get you places. So no matter what, now's that time, folks. Now's that time. Let's look back. Let's look at these guys from the past. I mean, these guys delivered something cool, did something nice. And again, largely forgotten now. But if we take the time like MLB just did and we go forward, what is next? And that's really what it's all about. And as leaders, what is next? It should always have been what's going on in the forefront of your mind. Team members, again, what's coming up next? What else can I do to better and improve the team? That's just the way it goes. So with all of that being said, I thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate you watching. Don't forget, I'll be back again tomorrow. Leadership in the news. And again, we have more news. So I'll see if I can find something different. But other than that, I thank you. And hey, be on the lookout. Got a little something new coming up. It's more in line with what I've been doing on Fridays, or I started doing on Fridays, and I kind of like going like, you know what? Now's the time to ramp it up. So we're going to ramp it up just a little bit. So be on the lookout for something new here. Really quick. It's not a hit and run, kind of what I've been doing at lunchtime, but it's something else. Anyway, in the meantime, listen, y'all take care. Have a great evening. Take it easy and enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you soon.